Alright, welcome. In this video, we're going to solve rational equations. Let's get started. When you look at this one right here, let me get my pen ready. We have a square root equals 2, and we have to get rid of the square root. So we're going to square both sides. And when we square both sides, the square root goes away. 2 squared is 4. Now we have a denominator, and we have to get rid of the denominator. So we're going to multiply both sides by 10. That cancels this side. We get k equals 40. Now the question is this a solution? So we need to check. And how do we check? We plug it back in and we find out whether both sides are equal to each other. So 40 over 10 equals 2. Well, 40 over 10 is 4, and square root of 4 is 2, so 2 does equal 2. So yes, this one is a solution. Now the next one, we would like to get rid of the square root, but we have a negative 4 in front of it. So since they're right next to each other, it's multiplication. So what we're going to do is we're going to divide both sides by negative 4. Right, that cancels the negative 4. And then negative 16 over negative 4 is positive 4. So we have positive 4 equal to negative 5 minus 3x. And now we're going to square both sides. And 4 squared is 16. And over here, what we get is just the inside. Now we're on a mission to solve for x. We add both 5 to both sides. We get 21 equals negative 3x. Divided by negative 3, we get that x equals negative 7. And now we're going to plug it in and see if this one is really a solution. So we have negative 16 equals negative 4 times Alright, so let's see this. Negative 5, negative 3 times negative 7 is positive 21, minus 5 is 16. And the square root of 16 is 4, so this is a negative 4 times a 4, which is a negative 16. So a negative 16 equals a negative 16, so yes, this one is a solution. Alright, number 3. What we want to have is we want to isolate the square root sign on itself by itself on one side, but right now we have a minus 3 plus this, so we got to get rid of the minus 3 by adding it to both sides. And so now we have the square root of 9 minus n equals 1. We're going to square both sides. We get 9 minus n equals 1. Now we're solving for n. We get rid of the 9. And we have negative on both sides. So we need to divide each side by negative 1. We get n equals positive 8. And you have to do your check. Minus 3 plus the square root of 9 minus 8. Does that equal negative 2? Let's see. And what you do is you type that into your calculator. Let me see. Minus 3 plus 9 minus 8 is 1. Square root of 1 is 1. Minus 3 plus 1 is a negative 2. And a negative 2 equals a negative 2. So yes, n equals 8 is a solution. Alright, this one, we want to leave the square root by itself on one side, but we have a minus 10. So we got to get rid of that. So we're going to add 10 to both sides. Let's see, we get a 6 equals the square root of b minus 5. And because now we have a square root on one side, we're going to square it. Square both sides. We got 36 equals this, the inside. And since we're solving for b, we get that b equals 41. And the question is this a solution? Well, we need to check. let's see, 41 minus 5 is a 36. Square root of 36 is 6. And 6 minus 10 is a minus 4. So minus 4 does equal a minus 4. So this one is a solution. All right, this is a square root equals a square root. Should I get a different color pen? Only because I can. Let's try this one. All right, so we're going to square both sides. And we get 4p minus 3 equals 2p plus 3. So now we want to solve for p. So we'll put the p's on the same side. And we got 2p minus 3. And we're solving for p now, so got to get rid of this. Alright, so we're getting that p equals 3, but we need to do our check. So we got to plug in 3 back in. So we got 4 times 3 minus 3. Take the square root of that. And then we have 2 times 3 plus 3. Alright, that's 12 minus 3 is 9. The square root of 9 is 3. 2 times 3 is 6. Plus 3 is 9. The square root of 9 is 3. So 3 equals 3. So then this is a solution. Alright, this one, once again, similar to this one, we got a square root equals a square root. So we need to square both sides. So we got x plus 5 equals minus 1 minus x. I'm going to add x to both sides. And I get 2x plus 5 equals negative 1. Getting rid of the 5. Getting rid of the 2. And get this. And the question is it a solution? So we need to do a check. Square root of negative 3 plus 5. Does this equal, whoa, oh, you gotta be careful here because this is negative, but so it's minus a negative 3. So that's gonna make it positive. Minus 3 plus 5 is the square root of 2. And this is the square root of minus 1 plus 3. So, all right, so they're the same. You get radical 2 equals radical 2. So since you got an equality, this is a solution. All right, the next problems. Square root equals a square root, so we're going to square both sides. We got 6 minus m equals m over 2. Since we have a 2, we got to get rid of it by multiplying both sides by 2. Notice my use of parentheses here. So you have this equals m, or 12 minus 2m, m equals m. I'm going to add 2m. I got 12 equals 3m. Divide by 3. M equals 4. And before I say it's a solution, I have to check that it is. So we got to plug it back in. Square root of 6 minus 4. Does that equal the square root of 4 over 2? What's 6 minus 4? 2. What's 4 divided by 2? 2. Alright, yeah, it's equal. So this is a solution. And once again, if I make a mistake in the video, let me know. I'm going quickly because you can pause and rewind as needed. I'm going to square both sides. Alright, so I think it's easier if I add 2b to both sides. 2 and 2 is 4b minus 4 equals 20. What's this, 4? Just double checking. 6, not 4. Oh, sorry about that. It's a 6. The question is it a solution? So we need to plug it in. I feel like it's kind of hard to write when it's at the bottom of the tablet. So here we go. 2 times 6 minus 4. Take the square root of that. And then 20 minus 2 times 6. You know, at this point, you should hit pause. And you should do the check by yourself. So make sure that you really are understanding the material and you're able to do it on your own. Right? And 2 times 6 is 12. 12 minus 4 is 8. And 20 minus 12 is 8. Yeah, I could simplify this more, but are these two sides equal? Yeah, they're equal. So this is a solution. Next page. Square root on both sides, so we can go ahead and square. So we only keep the inside. We're going to add 2x to both sides. 2 and 2 is 4. Bring down the 7. Now I'm solving for x. I'm going to get rid of the 7. So I have 4x equals negative 12. So divide both sides by the 4. I get x equals negative 3. And I have to do a check. Alright, so then you multiply this out. Negative 5 plus 6 is 1. And negative 6 plus 7 is 1. So these sides are equal. So then this is a solution. The next one, I'm tired of red. Green. Right, I'm going to square both sides. Alright, at this point you should be pausing the video and you should be solving for x by yourself and then playing the video to make sure that you did it correctly. X and x is 2x. I gotta get rid of the minus 9. So I have 23. Oh, I made a mistake. Divide both sides by 2. I get 16. Let's double check. It's getting late. It is 16. Okay, that's a more reasonable answer for this worksheet. And let's do our check. I hope I didn't confuse you too much on this one. Let's see. Square root 23 minus 16. Does that equal 16 minus 9? So we check. And I get the square root of 7. And 16 minus 9 is also 7. So yes, this is a solution. All right, this one, we have a 10 and we have to get rid, oh my gosh, this almost fell, sorry. We have to get rid of the 10. So we're going to divide both sides by 10. And 0 over 10 is 0. We gotta get rid of the square root. So we're gonna square both sides, but 0 squared is 0. And now I'm just going to subtract 2. And I get n equals negative 2. And you have to do the check. And yes, this is 0. So 0 equals 0, right? This ends up being 0. Check, this is your solution. All right, this problem, squaring both sides. We got 2n minus 105. All right, we have an 8 on the bottom, so we have to multiply both sides by 8. I'm going more carefully now. 8 times 105, 840. minus 840 equals minus 15. I gotta get rid of the negative 15. Let's see, 840, 15, 56, positive. All right, and then you have to do your check, and it'll check off. It'll work out for you to do your check. All right, with this one, square both sides, and you get 2n minus 2 equals 3n minus 8. Gotta bring the n's to one side. 2 is less than 3, so we move the 2n. Gotta get rid of the minus 8. So we get n equals 6. Then you plug it in, you plug the 6 in to see whether you get an equality. 2 times 6 is 12, 12 minus 2 is 10, square root of 10. 3 times 6 is 18, 18 minus 8 is 10. Alright, this checks out. This one is a solution. This one, we gotta get rid of the 8, and since this is multiplication, you gotta divide both sides by 8. 0 over 8 is 0. Alright, now you have to square both sides. You get 0 equals p over 9, and we gotta get rid of the 9. And you get that p equals 0. So now you check. Does 0 equal 8? Square root of 0 over 9, yes. This is 0, and 0 times 8 is 0. So this would be a solution. Forgot to write it here. Alright, 2 more problems. Here we go. Alright, square both of these. We get minus 1 minus 2n equals 2 minus n. Gotta bring the n's to one side. It'd be easier if I add n, I think. So I have minus 1 minus n equals 2. Alright, I got that n equals negative 3. Checking, minus 1 minus 2 times negative 3. Does that equal the square root of 2 minus, minus a negative 3? Minus 1 plus 6 is 5. And 2 plus 3 is 5. Alright, yes, n equals negative 3 is a solution. Changing the color of my pen for the last one. So many choices. Alright, I got 72 equals 9 times. And how do we get rid of multiplication? We divide it out. 72 divided by 9 is 8. And I get r over 10. Let me do this again. I had 72 equals 9, the square root of r over 10. Alright, dividing by 9. I get 8 equals the square root of r over 10. Now I need to square both sides. Okay. And now I get 64 equals r over 10. Now I multiply both sides by 10. And I get that r equals 640. And we did this one in class. The check works out, okay?